Hello and welcome to the University of Law. This is an interesting video. This is a video I've wanted to do for a while. It's one of my passions, and it's the physical release on Blu-ray 4K of the franchises that I like to watch. Now, I'm going to start by talking about this franchise, which is Star Wars. So, I recently got this. Season 2 is also now arrived. I'm getting that for my birthday, so that's waiting for me to open. But I've got the first season. This is a steelbook edition of season 1. It was only available as a steelbook, and it has the 4K and Blu-ray inside. Now with Star Wars, we get video games. Last year I got the latest video game, Jedi Survivor. And then about 2020 we got the original 6 films on 4K for the first time, beautifully restored. Currently working my way through them. So yeah, as a franchise, we're getting stuff, and it looks like they're starting to release a lot of the Disney Plus shows, which is fantastic. So hopefully these are the first of many, and we get Andor and Obi-Wan, etc., to put on the shelf and enjoy in the highest possible quality. The other franchise I enjoy is Star Trek, and I say Star Trek is probably one of the best at the moment at kind of getting this stuff out. So Strange New Worlds, Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, Prodigy, all of these series are being released on physical, Blu-ray. In the case of Stranger Worlds, on 4K, which is excellent. I mean, to think now that we're getting TV series coming out on 4K, both of these is just incredible. But we're also getting, like with Star Wars, is we're getting the older stuff, the back catalogue, restored in 4K. I've just finished, me and my friend Jack, we were working our way through them. We finally got to Nemesis last week, so we've been working our way through those for the last 10 weeks. And now, just to be completists, we're going to be moving on to the Kelvin timeline, the Abrams films, for the next 3 weeks. I particularly like the 4K edition of Into Darkness, because rare for a 4K, it does have the IMAX scenes on there, so you get that expanded ratio. So why am I talking about these on my Doctor Who channel? Well, there are many franchises out there that we all enjoy, as well as Doctor Who. As I say, these are just 2 that I like. I like Star Trek, I like Star Wars, I collect the Avatar things. Obviously, there was a recent game that came out. So lots of different franchises that we all enjoy watching and collecting in the highest quality. But the reason why I bring this up here is because looking at the other franchises that I collect, while they've all done a wonderful, brilliant job, and I love the restoration that's gone into these, I think sometimes we forget how lucky we are as Doctor Who fans. So let's just start with the collection sets. So we are still getting physical releases of 20th Century Who, this time on Blu-ray. I'm going to do a whole video on this in a few weeks' time, but we're getting new effects on the next box set, the season 15. They're still going there over halfway through. We're going to get through all the seasons. For the first time ever, every story will get some kind of representation on physical in the same media, which is fantastic. We've got Horror Fang Rock. It's got new CGI. It's got 5.1 surround sound. And I think sometimes we forget how lucky we are, because even things like original soundtracks, I don't collect them, but they release original soundtracks. Mark Ayres works on them. Not only the off-air recordings of Lost Stories, but also we get the actual music, the music cues from stories that are now 40, 50 years old. And while it's not unusual for a TV series or a film to get an original soundtrack released, usually that's modern material where the material exists. Many times, Marquez, the restoration work that goes in is incredible. I don't think we quite realise how much work goes into it. First of all, locating this material, but then the actual restoration of it. I'm very big on restoring my own family archive, family video, family photos, family audio. And I tell you what, the work that goes into restoring an audio track is really, really difficult. And I think it's one of those things where you take it so for granted that there's sound on a production. But thinking about the fact that we get these original soundtracks is just incredible. And as I said, the fact that someone's had to find those cues and then obviously restore them, I think it's incredible. And we forget that. And it's what leads to us getting these incredible 5.1 mixes on here. Of course, not all franchises get releases anymore physically. A lot of studios are moving away from physical releases. With Doctor Who, we're still getting physical releases. You can get DVD, Blu-ray, or Steelbook for each new series. At this point, I haven't actually bought the specials yet for these. So the most recent one I've got is the 13th Doctor specials. But the reason why I haven't is because I'm holding out just in case there's a 4K release, because I know they were shot in 4K, so I'd love, if possible, to get the 4K release of the 60th specials. I'll give it a year, and if they haven't come out, I'll go and commit to the Blu-ray. But the fact that we're still getting those is fantastic. And obviously the Christmas specials coming out soon. The biggest thing, though, is obviously so far most of the collection sets have been 70s and 80s. We've only had one 60s set. But the 60s is still being represented. We're still getting Blu-ray releases of 60s stuff. First of all, next month we're getting the colorized Daleks. Who'd have thought that? We're actually getting colour. You know, and I'm going to come to this later, but who'd have thought we'd be where we are now a few short years ago? But we're also getting, you know, increasingly regular animations. This is one of my favourite, the Macra Terror. We're still getting animated 60s Who you can get on DVD, Blu-ray or Steelbook. Bonus features, original episodes restored to Blu-ray. It's incredible documentaries, and again the work that's gone into the soundtracks on there, the animations. The fact is this stuff doesn't exist, and yet there's a DVD of it. No episodes of the Macra Terror exist. This doesn't exist in the archives, and yet it's on our shelves with the original soundtrack that a fan has recorded and a new investment in documentaries and the animation and telestamp reconstructions, which is always my preferred method of watching. But the fact is that this stuff exists at all, that we're actually getting these animations. I think we forget how lucky we are, because 10 years ago this was unthinkable. To have the Macra Terror on your shelf, to have all the animations that we've got, and to have Celestial Toymaker coming out, it was unthinkable. We never thought it was going to happen. And yet here we are, plugging those gaps, and we're going to get them all eventually in these collection sets as well. And I'm just looking ahead, so we've got the Chuck and Ruby Road coming out as a physical release. We had last month, we had the 60th specials. We have got the Daleks in colour coming out next month. We've got season 15, probably coming out around a month after that. I'm trying to think what else. There's Celestial Toymaker coming out after that. It's in the first half of the year, we're essentially getting almost like a release a month. And this is stuff that came out 40, 50 years ago. And again, looking at the Blu-ray, you know, this isn't a film series. This isn't a series where they've got 35 or 70mm film that they're restoring that's been kept in Hollywood vaults. This is material of varying quality, which needs a lot of work, you know, videotape. And to get it to the quality it is, I think sometimes we forget, we take for granted quite how good it is. Not just the audio, but the visuals as well. Then the material on there, the wealth of documentaries and featurettes and new stuff and new documentaries and new featurettes and studio footage. And, you know, the list is never ending. And when you look at what other franchises have, and you look at what we get with Doctor Who, I think sometimes we forget how lucky we are. So I just want to stop and just look back to where we were, you know, 10 years ago, 10 years ago, 11 years ago. The DVD range was coming to an end. We thought that was it for physical Doctor Who, but we were just going to get the new series stuff as of when it was released. We never thought we'd get a whole run of animations. We never thought we'd get an incredibly restored range of Blu-ray. And again, I'll talk more about the value of the Blu-ray range later. And never in a million years did we think we were going to get colorized 60s Doctor Who on its own Blu-ray release. So yeah, this is just my little video just saying thank you to everyone involved in the BBC who gets this stuff out. Again, as I said, this material, it's old, it's varying quality, it's not always in pristine, and against all the odds they get it to us in these incredible qualities with this incredible wealth of footage. And again, it's stuff that this shouldn't exist, this animation shouldn't exist, because the story was junked, and here we are. So what are your thoughts? Which release are you looking forward to most in 2024? What releases would you like to see moving forward? Do let me know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Look forward to speaking to you soon.